everybody. Welcome to the Ohio Winter League Series 7 at Findley State Park in Wellington, Ohio. This is a beautiful, heavily wooded course with all kinds of cool, ornate woodworking stuff here. We got an awesome bear here throwing a disc. We've got a CTP mystery box that we're sponsoring on hole 3, which is a par 3, 112 feet with a double mando not far off the tee. Really tough hole. We're going to be following shots from myself here, Greg Jursic, the way too cool Ricky Cox, and six-sided disc zone James Lawrence. Look at that face. We're getting started here on hole 1, par 3, 252 feet. There's a gap on the left and on the right, and that's neither of them for James's very first shot of the event. I know he was pretty frustrated with that. We're getting started at about 10 a.m. It is a chilly morning. It's going to warm up throughout the day. Ricky's probably throwing one of his Firebirds here. He's got a really, really good forehand that you're going to see throughout this event. And I'm lining up my Prodigy 400 F5 with a little bit of hyzer flip and a generous skip through the leaves there. I'm going to be really happy with that shot to start off. And it looks like James is reaching for his Innova Star Cayman.
God, what am I doing right now?
And that's about the worst possible start on the first hole. 2 early tree kicks. And that should kind of set the tone for all 3 of us throughout this event. Back-to-back 2 rounds here. A lot of trees. And that's a pretty solid recovery shot there from James. And that's just a brutal putt to leave low. He's going to get started on hole 1 here with a double bogey, which, you know, worst possible start you'd have to imagine. We'll see if he can recover. Ricky with a tap-in birdie, and I'm not sure if I had the CTP on him here or not. It was really close, but I would be delighted to tap in a birdie as well on the very first hole. Feels good. Moving on to hole 2. Hole 2 is a par 3, 216 feet. I don't know how accurate these distances are on U-disc. And even though Ricky let that go pretty early, he got quite a ways down there. I think I'm again throwing... Oh no, this is my Axiom Plasma Insanity. I also got a bit of an early release here.
Right over there with you.
And I also get lucky, so we'll see if James is going to pipe it right down the fairway. He's throwing a Castaplast K1 stall, and it got pretty far down there. And not a bad effort from outside the circle.
Oh, good.
Ricky even closer, but we're both going to have to settle for par. Let's see if James can knock in a birdie. That's a great putt around that tree. I was surprised a lot of times James and Ricky both kind of opted for this Annie putt rather than a hyzer putt around an obstacle, as there's more than enough trees out here to get stuck behind, and they executed them very well, and that was a great recovery from the first hole. Good job, James. We're on to hole 3, the double mando hole, and James does kick the mando tree, but through the mandatory, and he's not going to take a penalty stroke. I'm going to be throwing my Prodigy A1 like absolute garbage, and I did not technically miss the mando, but I did kick left off of that tree. And Ricky just threads it through there. So he's going to be pin high. And I have absolutely nothing from here. I just have to kind of pitch putt back to the mando, which is about the same as missing it. So right back where we started. And I don't know, I had like a kind of an issue deciding what I wanted to do here. Jump putt, approach shot, what felt most comfortable. Decided to go for the jump putt. Didn't commit to the line. Left it way early left and Now I'm leaving myself a tester, kind of 25-footer for bogey. James just not quite online there. He'll have to settle for par. And that is a putt that lacks confidence. I didn't have any confidence at that point, and it showed. See if Ricky can do better. And he's going to take the only birdie on hole 3 from our card. And that birdie is going to gain him strokes on the majority of the field. This is a challenging hole. This is a league points series. So we're playing about 20 people or so in our division. We're playing in the rec division. And I'm taking a double bogey here. James is cleaning up his par, and we're on to hole 4. Ricky just about gets a forehand up there. Hole 4 is par 3, 177 feet. The basket is slightly to the left. Most of the gaps are where James is throwing that shot, and that was looking fantastic until it hit that tree. I'm going to go with my Chris Dickerson FX2, and I'm just going to try and flex something through here, a little bit of Anheuser. And it just about worked. I think I'm going to end up about pin high. Ricky, excuse me, is pitching up here and almost gives that a run. That was pretty nice.
Oh, wow.
And James said he's been putting a lot of work into his putting, practicing a lot. He's putting with his K1 Rico or Reco from Castaplast, or excuse me, K3. That's certainly a putt I feel I should have made, but I had a little bit of an awkward lie against that tree. So we're all just sort of cleaning up our pars here, I think, on hole 4.
Confidence level on the putt is real low right now. These baskets don't show me confidence.
See if James can do the same.
Good putt.
There we go. Good putt. On to hole 5. Hole 5 is par 3, 249. The basket's going to be kind of a turn to the right. And Ricky's going to be looking at it. He's probably close to pin high. Ricky's got this really, short run up. Just a really big pop on his forehand. It's really impressive. James puts a good one up there with his Cayman as well. And I apologize, I don't know Ricky's discs in his bag quite as well as James and I, but I know Ricky throws a lot of Discraft. He's got a lot of Firebirds and Destroyers in there as well. And this is just a full-on misrelease for me. I'm trying to throw it on hyzer. I ended up throwing it flat, and that was just terrible. So now I've got a long approach shot here, which is a really weird range for me. And I throw my pilot on way too much Anheuser and leave myself another tester putt. And James was giving that a really nice bid until it kicked off that tree. See if Ricky can knock down a birdie here. Ooh, that one was close too. Good effort. And here's the par save. Let's see if we can get it.
Let's go.
There we go. That felt good. And we'll get our first instant replay. And not only makes the putt, but it gets jammed in the bottom of the basket. So that was a fun one. And that was much needed for my confidence. My putting did not feel good before that. James cleaning up his par. And Ricky taking his down as well. And we're moving on to hole 6, our first par 4, 432 feet. The basket's just ahead of the water, way down there. Narrow gaps all the way through. Many, many trees, as you can see. Ricky's got his jelly bean Firebird.
Oh.
And it was looking so good if it could have missed that tree. James is trying to flex his H3V2. And that one's going to get pretty far down the fairway. Nice and clean, didn't hit a tree. And that's an accomplishment on this hole, I'd say. I'm going with my Infinite G-Blend Emperor, trying to flex something through. And kind of skips off of a branch up there. I threw it way too high. Not entirely happy with my form after watching a lot of these shots back. Might be something to work on. Ricky flexes a nice shot down to give himself a look if he's willing to take it. I'm trying to throw my MD3 and just kind of float it up here and missed my gap, hit another tree. And had a tough day on the course, I'd say personally, like from an emotional perspective. I was having trouble keeping my emotions in check. Gave that one a really good run, but I was really beating myself up when I threw bad shots, and that would lead to more bad shots. James giving that a soft bid with his Berg. That was a good one. This course here at Findley State Park is just gorgeous. I mean, this view here of the lake or reservoir, which Ricky wanted nothing to do with throwing into there, is just gorgeous. As you continue to watch our 2 rounds here, which this will be the first of 4 videos. We'll have 3 more coming after this one. It's just a gorgeous course. Some really, really beautiful holes, some signature holes that are very unique. And James picks up the birdie on hole 6, and we're on to hole 7. And that just full-on slipped out of his hand, his S-Line DD3. So he'll be lining up a shot from the middle of the fairway there. Ricky going with the backhand. And again, he's got so much snap on a slow run-up. He gets really consistent lines, solid distance. Ricky was, until recently, almost entirely a forehand thrower, and his backhand's really coming along. I'm going to line up my K1 lots here and just grip lock it right into that tree. He's had a few issues with clean releases throughout this event. James is going back to his DD3 and throwing a big hyzer through the gap.
A little deep to left. But
Hole 7, as a par 4, the basket is kind of on the side of this hill. We can't see it from where we're throwing right now, and all 3 of us are playing this course blind, so we're trying to figure out where these things are as we go. And I'm flexing my streamline flare through there, which I think will just about work out. Ricky's pitching up to, there's the basket on the side of the hill. And I think Ricky's got a birdie look here. Oh, just off to the right-hand side. James very close there. He's just going to be tapping out for a par after that early tree kick. And I've somehow created a birdie look after my bad tee shot.
Let's go.
And that one feels really good. After the earlier par save putt, I finally got my putt feeling good on a couple holes here.
Nice putt, Rick.
Ricky cleans up his par. And likewise for James, and I'm taking the box into hole 8, which is a very narrow gap. Basket's way down to the left. And that's exactly how narrow that gap is. So I grip lock mine right into that tree, and Ricky's going to see if he can do better. And the answer is no. Both of us struggled on this one. So let's see if James can do better. Yeah, and he peers it with his DD3, but very straight. And he does get a good skip at the end, or else he wasn't really going to have any look at the basket. And you could see his facial expression there. We had no idea where the basket was as we were throwing this. We walked halfway down the fairway, couldn't find it. But eventually we worked out it must be in that direction. and Ricky put a decent upshot in there, and I'm just trying to do the same, trying to skip something over with my flare here. But threw it too high, so I'm not going to get any kind of skip that I was looking for. And at this point, I mean, we got a hill, a basket on a hill. We got twigs behind it. None of us want to slide or roll down the hill, so we're just trying to carefully pitch up here. At least I am. Ricky with another really close putt that would have taken him to 3 under through 8 holes.
Great birdie.
Which is a great score on this course
par
in the
4.
conditions. James picks up a great birdie there. And Ricky is going to have to settle for bogey. Oh, and I apologize. He was putting for par, not for birdie. And I'm cleaning up my bogey as well, and hole 8 is making Ricky and I take our medicine. Moving on to hole 9, par 3, 273. The basket's straight through that gap, or there's a forehand flex gap to the left-hand side. James is throwing his Dark Horse Christmas Buzz and looks to be leaking a little bit right, and I think he's going to end up just long of the basket. I'm going to try and flex my flare through that gap and miss the line and the trees, and somehow I'm going to have a look at it.
Go down there somewhere.
I don't deserve it, but I'm happy to have it. And Ricky's going with his destroyer, and he gets it turned over just a little bit, and it just did not want to come back. And let's see if we can get some highlight putts here on hole 9 to wrap up the front 9. Ooh, that was such a good line. Every time I watch it, I still think it should have gone in. And Ricky's in a rough spot here. He's just trying to get back to the green. James did, in fact, go about 40 feet long here. He's going to have to straddle out to get an angle at the basket. And what an effort from back there. That was just so close. Inches away. James is going to clean up his par. Ricky had a good upshot there for his par, and my missed putt leaves me a tap in as well. And that'll do it for the front 9. I am at 1 over par, James 1 under, Ricky 1 under. We're out here at Findley State Park for the Ohio Winter League Series number 7 in Wellington, Ohio. Again, a beautiful course. If you haven't been, it is worth the trip. Make sure you tune in tomorrow and the next couple days for round 1 back 9 and front and back 9 for round 2. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Six Sided Discs and check out our new store page with pictures of every disc at sixsideddiscs.com.